Mr. Alex.
Good morning, Commissioners. How are y'all today? And
Doing
happy
good.
December.
How about the news on the channel?
I haven't had any further updates here recently, so nothing's changed since last month. But we'll be having the Congresswoman's office hours just next door here in about 20 minutes. And if anyone has any questions about things like the Affordable Care Act that they'd like answered by the Congresswoman's office, or if they need any assistance with federal agencies, we'd be more than happy to assist.
Anybody have anything for Alex?
Mr. Chairman, I got one thing just to let you know. A constituent on Alligator Point, actually a constituent on Gulf Shore Boulevard, Mr. Ray Maynard, has contacted your office through Washington regarding what should I say?
The total erosion.
The total erosion and the lack of response, I guess is the best way to start it, from FEMA to assist us in getting Gulf Shore Boulevard relocated.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Maynard is a property owner on Gulf Shore Boulevard. If we don't get the road relocated, he and 4 other people will lose access to their house. We have a FEMA PW for rebuilding the road in its current location, but DEP says we can't rebuild the road in its current location because it's on the beach, and therefore I've made a request over a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, to relocate the road.
Roger that.
And I can't get this relocation request approved. I'm not asking for more money. I just want to take a road with that amount of money and put it someplace else. We have an easement already approved for the state of Florida, but I need FEMA to approve a change of the scope of work change. And anyway, Mr. Maynard is very concerned because he eventually will lose access to his house, and he's very upset about how long it's taken. So I just want you to know that he has contacted your office through emails.
Yes,
so
sir.
you don't necessarily know about it, but I just want to tell you about it.
Well, and Alex, there's already some people over there that has, they lost access to the house, but we put them away in there.
Right. But it's temporary.
Yeah, temporary.
Yeah,
But we have got to help these people out, and we are tired of trying to go through FEMA and not having any response from FEMA.
Roger.
So anyway.
I will get up with you after y'all's meeting today and get in touch with Miss Jessica Lamb, who's the Congresswoman's liaison with FEMA. She's the constituency services representative that works with FEMA, and we can open that up as a case.
Okay, good.
Mr. Chairman, if I can add,
Yes,
the
sir.
temporary access easement that the commission was referring to, it expires in June of next year.
Roger that.
And we have been informed that the owner is not likely to extend that courtesy to us. So time is absolutely of the essence.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Tighten
Mr. Chairman.
down on it.
Aye, sir.
Yes,
I'll
sir.
do what I can.
All right, thank you. The public hearing, Dr. Captain, is that you?
So we can't do that. It's scheduled to start at 10 a.m. We can't start
It could be
early.
Michael Marone, or it could be Mark. This is something that's required done. We haven't done it in a number of years, so it may seem, it's something new for you all, but it's something we should have been doing every so often. This is a capital schedule
We
improvement.
can't start until 10.
All right, but we'll take a 5-minute recess. Time we get back in, it'll be about time to go.
Yes, it's advertised to start at 10. We can't change that.
Board of County Municipality Section, we're gonna start Mr. Jason Puffy for Airport.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank y'all for having me. I wanted to just give a quick update on the airport, what we got going on out there. Really no action items or anything like that. But first thing is the airport rehab project. If I can remind you, that is where we're going in and taking a lot of the expansion joints, removing the old material and resealing those joints. Also repairing a lot of the concrete slabs that's been undermined and has cracked. We're having a pre-construction meeting this month, and it looks like our notice to proceed will be January 11th with Polar Runnels Construction. So I just want to give you an update on that. We're going to get that kicked off pretty soon. The other project we have is what we're calling the access road to our little industrial park area. We were waiting on a wetland delineation and also a survey. That's
Just go back. This is the contract with Polar Runnels, so we've got it signed
Yes.
now, so we will be.
Yeah, I think everything's
Yeah.
ready to go,
Yeah.
in my understanding. The second project is the access road. We were waiting on a delineation for the wetland study and also a survey. That's been completed by Pebble Rish, and so Avcon is working on the plans on that. So that's going to be exciting. The third thing we have going on is our lighting project, which is going in and replacing all of our lighting with LED lighting as well as doing conduit in the ground. The 90% drawings are complete on that, and we're going to try to have that ready to go for bid spring of 2016. So we've got a lot of things coming on pretty quickly. With that being said, our beacon, which is the rotating green and white beacon that lets everybody know we're in the airport and where we're at. It has been down for about a month and a half now. So we were faced with the dilemma of repairing that or replacing it. It was going to be part of the lighting project to be replaced anyway. So what I did is I contacted AVCON, the FDOT, to see if we can go ahead and get that replaced now, because there's money already been allocated for the lighting project, and we can. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and replace that beacon instead of repairing the old one. It was going to be replaced anyway in a couple months. We're going to go ahead and start that as part of the project in January.
That's good.
There was no sense spending money on something that we replaced anyway. Next to last item is our NDB, and NDB is our instrument approaches into our runways. We have multiple instrument approaches into here. We have an NDB, which is a non-directional beacon. It's a piece of navigational equipment. It's a navigational aid. The FAA has decommissioned 742 VOR and NDB approaches across the country. Ours was one of them. NDB runway 14 was one of the instrument approaches that was decommissioned, and it will be decommissioned first quarter of next year. Not really a major item, just want to bring you up to speed with it. We have GPS approaches going to that runway anyway, so it's not the end of the world, just want to let you guys know about it. The last item was when Lee Lewis was here with AVCON last time, he talked about an economic development survey. We actually went to the FDOT and received a little over $100,000 grant to conduct an economic development survey. That's not pulling from any other grant. That is a standalone grant that they've approved us for. So we're working on the JPA on that. And as soon as that gets done, we'll present it to you and have you guys approve it. But that's exciting news. So everything I have today is pretty positive, and just want to kind of bring you up to speed on what's going on at the airport. Any questions for me?
Anybody have any questions?
I've got a question, Jason. Are we doing good on fuel out there?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
You know, it being the holidays.
Yes,
and everything.
ma'am. We from what I understand, Chris Laird is maintaining our fuel out there.
Good.
I'm not sure exactly where they are financially. I believe they're.
They did send a check, then they sent another check. Let's leave that.
Okay.
So I think.
I just want to make sure, this being the holidays, we
Yes,
have a lot
ma'am.
of fly-ins, fly-outs. I just want to make sure that we have plenty of fuel to accommodate the people.
We sure do. I know the
Don't know
Seafood
that.
Festival was a big event for them,
Yeah.
and I didn't hear any problems with fuel shortages on that.
Okay, that's good.
All right.
That's a good thing.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, guys.
Mr. Chairman, excuse me, if you don't mind, can we go to open up the RFPs?
I'm fixing to open the bids up, then we'll come back to that and that'll give it. All right, we're gonna open the bids on REP.
You want to read and I cut?
Yeah, these are not bids now, these are proposals.
Well,
Right.
actually, they were advertised as requests for proposals, but in discussing it with Mark yesterday, they should have been requests for qualifications. There is no pricing. What we're going to do, we're going to just get the names of the companies. You guys will probably forward it to a committee for review, and the committee in turn will return a recommendation at the next meeting for award. Okay?
This award is based on a grant that the county got from the Department of Economic Opportunity for
$25,000
grant to assist us in developing a single layer of GIS data. That single layer will have information regarding floodplains and such like that that is currently not available through the property appraiser. It will be a layer on their map.
On their map.
But we're developing it and it will give to them.
And we'll try to get a link. One of the things we wanted to link to the county's website, so there's less traffic coming in the office, less phone calls. Most people go to the website, click it, and find the information that they need.
Good.
Okay? Okay, Alan, so I'll open and you read.
Okay. And this was advertised, we had a very good response. It shows you the direction the world was going. Sometimes we're getting a hard time getting people to apply to paving, which is hard work, but get electronic work, we have like 7 people applying for electronic work, so everybody's into electronics these days. So the first proposal we're opening up here was shipped, says from Gainesville, but let's find out, Michael. Oops. And they're so electronic, they gave me a thumb drive on top of having a hard copy. So this is from George F. Young, Inc. George F. Young, Inc. out of Gainesville, Florida. And they're doing qualifications. So that's the first one.
I'm gonna tell y'all, Mark answered a lot of emails, a lot of calls about this. We got people in California, people from up north in New York, everybody was interested. Ask me how they found out about the bid,
Because we just put it in local paper. That's how popular electronic stuff stuff this is today.
That's how popular we are.
Or how we are, yes. The second one is from a company looks like called VHB out of Orlando, Florida. And I don't see what the initials VHB stand for, but they use it several times, so it's VHB. And the third one is a group called, looks like, Panda Consulting. Panda Consulting out of Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. I just realized since this money came out of DEO, maybe the DEO put the announcement on their website somehow, because we got a lot of responses. This one is CSA Ocean Science, CSA Ocean Science out of Stuart, Florida. So CSA Ocean Science out of Stuart, Florida.
The name is on the outside, so make sure you want to verify what's on the inside.
This is Grimwell Crawford, Inc., out of Tampa, Florida, looks like. Yes, Grimwell Crawford out of, they have offices in Shipley, Florida, as well as the address of Tampa, Florida.
They used to be a consultant with Northwest Florida.
I thought that.
Yeah.
Transportation. Yeah.
This one looks like it is. Bay Media out of Apalachicola, Florida. Bay Media out of Apalachicola, Florida.
Got a hometown in it.
Looks like this is RAM or RAM, but it looks like RAM Professional Group. RAM Professional Group out of Jacksonville, Florida.
That's it.
Okay. So I recommend you turn it over to the committee of Mark Harrington, myself, and Michael Marone to give you a recommendation.
So moved.
Second.
Have a question.
Yes, sir.
All the applicants were time and time?
Yes.
Yes. Yes, yesterday at 5 o'clock, that was the deadline.
All right, I have a motion and a second on the floor. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries.
How are we with time, Attorney Schuler? Any closer?
It's not quite.
Like about 3 minutes.
I can do my restore report if you want.
Yep.
Okay.
Do which one?
My restore report.
Okay, yeah.
It's pretty straightforward here. I just need one board action. First item, board action appoint Mayor Van Johnson as the City of Apalachicola appointment to the Restore Advisory Committee. The city has sent an email verifying his appointment. This will now make 6 members of the RAC.
So moved.
Have a motion second on the floor. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
The next item is inform the board that the first RAC meeting, or we're going to call it RAC from now on, I hope, RAC meeting is intended to be held on December 15th at 5 p.m. This will be an organizational meeting, and Dewberry will be here, and they'll make a general presentation about the role of RAC and that kind of stuff. It'll be here in this room at 5 o'clock.
Wait a minute. Is that the 15th?
In the evening, yes.
In the evening.
Your meeting in the morning at 10 o'clock.
That's what I was, too bad we couldn't have it all at the same time.
Well, actually, your meeting's at Carabel.
I know that, that's the reason why I said.
Well, we did have to do it at 5 o'clock for the public to participate. Number 3 is a little bit long. I did a cut and paste out of an email I received. Inform the board that the Florida's Great Northwest Agency has requested staff representation from each of the 8 Panhandle counties to attend 2 meetings in order to develop an overview presentation of what the Panhandle needs in order for, and I'm quoting out of the email, a regional economic transformation of the Panhandle. The meeting will be facilitated by Florida's Great Northwest with an expected presentation by Florida's Great Northwest to the Board of Trustees of the Triumph Fund in January. Below is an excerpt from the email that I received from Florida's Great Northwest that explains the purpose of these 2 meetings, and I'll just read it for the record. And this is how they're positioning themselves as being Florida's Great Northwest. Serving as a regional economic development organization, Florida's Great Northwest is the natural convener of all these key stakeholders. Florida's Great Northwest has engaged a company which I don't know anything about called Vision First Advisors to facilitate the development of this level-setting presentation. In addition to looking at other parts of the country that have successfully gone through transformation, VFA will take your important input and formulate a presentation that truly defines regional transformational change. To clarify, this presentation will provide a definition/perspective of what regional economic transformation includes. This presentation will not be specific to a Northwest Florida regional transformation strategy, nor will it include discussions of potential projects for the region. This is an opportunity This is an opportunity to paint the picture and educate the trustees on what the elements of transformational change look like and how other parts of the country have successfully implemented regional economic transformation. And I got this from Teresa Baker, and I've notified her that I will attend as staff representation for the Franklin County. The meetings are December 9th and January 11th in Niceville. Do you all have any particular comments? I mean, you can tell me now or tell me later about, what you would hope to see come out of this.
I got one comment, Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
if you
ma'am.
don't mind. You know what? This is with the BP settlements and all this. This is what I say, and I say it today, I said it the first day. Before we see any of that money, there's gonna be so many organizations and so many people in there grabbing at it that we may not even see any of the money, and at the same time have the problems we still got, out there. And why are they getting involved now? We've already got Opportunity Florida trying to get involved in the 8-county region, and they represent, half of the 8 counties. But that's just a comment from me. I mean, there's so many layers to this, and now everybody else is jumping on it.
Absolutely. I mean, I agree with you completely.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
My assessment is that the Great Northwest is getting involved because the University of West Florida is already involved.
Absolutely.
And the two of them are tightly bound.
Merging. Yeah.
I just feel like the driving force from this is Senator Gates, who's from that part of the state.
Absolutely.
And so I feel like if we don't participate to some extent, we will not know what they're sort of scheming for us. And I think it's important to see what's going on. I will say, and Commissioner Sanders has been here a long time and gone through this, and Commissioner Parrish has been some of this also, is that I feel like we're sort of revisiting the structural change that we went through when the St. Joe Company was driving the economic engine.
The train.
Of
Yeah.
the train. The same sort of narrative, the same sort of overarching, boy, we're going to make the world a different place. I want to be a better place. I just want to be a different place, and I don't know.
When you sit here as long as we have, this board has, when you sit here, you can see certain things happening, and you can say, deja vu,
Here it comes
all
again.
over again. And this is what it is, instead of fixing the real problem.
Right.
And this is what I said, I say that at the restore meetings, I said it real good that not too long ago. But anyway, we're not gonna probably ever see this money in our lifetime if it keeps on. Because there's so many fingers in the pots,
Right.
in all 3 pots to
I
be
agree
exact.
completely.
All 5 pots to be exact. So, I mean, it's ridiculous, but, I don't mind you going and listening to what they've got to say, then that way we'll know how to.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of these things, Commissioner Sanders, I agree with you completely. I think if we don't at least listen to what they're talking about, then we won't know what opportunities may or may not be there. But I agree, the closer the money comes, the more layers seem to materialize. I mean, it's
That's
just
what I'm
unbelievable.
saying.
I'd like to make a comment.
Yes, sir.
I think our natural ally in regional economic development would be Gulf County. I mean, the same, basically, size county, same area. So it would
Yes.
be good to see if there's opportunity
Yes.
there. We've got the airport, they've got the port. I mean, that's.
Yeah, that's the
And that's
norm-
what
the
we've been
natural-
focusing
yeah.
on at the local level.
Yes.
But have they bothered to come in here and ask us that? No. And now they're wanting to include it, and the only reason why they're wanting to include it is because we're one of the 8 affected counties. Smokey's shaking his head, yes, that's right. I mean, everybody knows that they can't get by anybody without including all 8 counties. That's the way the legislation was wrote up, so we'll just have to wait and
Another
see.
question I had, do we have all our appointments to the Restore Advisory Council?
We're still looking for one non-governmental. The county has 5 appointments, and I've been trying. While the board hasn't said this, there needs to be a geopolitical dispersion of the appointments, and right now there's nobody from the eastern end of the county on the committee. So we're hopefully get that resolved here,
It'd
shortly.
be great to get that appointment made before the meeting. So that's some-
Yes, but you have a board meeting in the morning on the 15th, if necessary.
Everybody going at the free money.
Yes, everybody's going to free money.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Alan, on these RAC meetings, Newberry will be at each and every
Yes.
one of those?
Yes.
So they'll give the guidance?
Yes.
to the committee as to what you can and can't do, what you
Yes.
should and shouldn't do.
Yes. And the strength of Dewberry, they've already gone through this with two other counties. They know what Treasury accepts, they know what the rules are, yes. That's
Okay,
that's
that,
exactly right.
that was a concern of mine, because you're gonna have some members on the committee that are not really up to date as to what you can and can't do when you start looking at projects.
Right.
I don't wanna sit here and waste time on a project that's not gonna meet the criteria.
That's right.
You know, you just,
Well, the first step, though, is to develop the criteria that the county feels is important in judging projects. So we're not even anywhere near looking at projects now. We want to look at a scoring mechanism for what is important to Franklin County. And so
So
the
there's
committee
only-
will give some idea, then you all ultimately approve that before we even look at projects.
right, but at the organizational meeting, we'll try to give some of those insights to the members
Yes.
of the committee.
Yes.
So that they know
Yes.
when they're trying to review projects to be recommended to us, that we're
Yes.
moving in the right direction and we're not presenting something that there's no way it's gonna make it.
That's correct.
Therefore wasting their time and our time too.
That's correct.
So I just wanted to clarify that they will be there as our consultant.
Oh, absolutely. No, that's what they're being paid to do. They've got the experience to guide us through this thing, and that's exactly what they provide. The last thing I'll just say on Restore is that at the consortium meeting, there was a big debate, and it was in the paper to some extent, and I'll just tell you that Commissioner Sanders was there and can tell better than I can, but we don't know the outcome of that. The consortium voted for one set of dispersions. The governor's got to agree to it. I don't know, Cheryl, if we even know when the governor may even look at the thing. Basically, the consortium voted to split the money evenly among all the counties in the consortium, is my understanding. But the governor may or may not accept that.
Well, let's just say that this commissioner walked out of the meeting because it would never go any farther than what it was going after 3 or 4 hours discussion. So I said, this is what I said along with Mike Soul, the 15 disproportionate counties had a meeting that was questionable underneath the rules of having a meeting underneath the sunshine. Okay, it was questionable. That was questionable. That's number one. Second of all, they had a meeting to discuss how they wanted to divvy up the pot 3. After we had a previous meeting, the consortium had a previous meeting, voted to divide pot 3 50-50. Okay. So 19-4 vote, I think is what it was.
Right.
It wasn't actual vote, but it was sort of like
Some guidance.
taking a vote on it. Anyway, so these people were, with the 15 disproportionate counties, think we should be getting this. They should be getting the same thing that we, the 8 affected counties, should be getting, and that's not the way it should be. So Mike Soul, one of the governor's appointees, former Secretary of DEP, said, members, you all need to be looking at the projects, not the dollars. The projects, not the dollars. Well, they were after the dollars. And after many minutes and hours of bickering, I kind of stepped in and I said, we have been sitting here listening to this, bickering and fighting and fussing over money. You hear what the former secretary said. It's about projects, not money. And I said, I'm not going to listen to this any longer by just sitting here and listening to this bickering. And so I told him, I said, our people are still hurting in my county. Our people are still, having problems. I said, now we've got check stations in. We've got, our major oyster bar for the winter is not even producing what it normally produces. And y'all up here bickering about dollars, you don't even know whether you're going to get or not. So they kept on bickering a little bit, and I just got up and walked out. And after that, some of the members said, well, you see, people are leaving the table. The members are leaving the table. They're tired of this. So that's when they took that back. So Commissioner Sanders kind of has to do stuff like that, and it's meant to be. And it's a hard job, but somebody's got to do it. They need to quit focusing on them 15 members that's disproportionate, and focus on the 8 members that's affected. That's what we're saying. So that's where it's come to.
Yeah, the consortium, as you know, is a learning curve, and I'll say this to everybody, is that they've never had this consortium ever existed before. So and unfortunately, Commissioner Sanders, you're right, it's a fight about the money. It's not about...
All about the money. It's not about the project. It needs to be about the project. Just like I told some of the members, they're predicting that it's going to cost them well into $40-50 million to restore this Bay, Apalachicola Bay. I mean, how are you gonna do that? So you can't depend on dollars, you gotta look at the particular project and what the overall project means to the state of Florida, especially the economic factor. Environmental and economic factors, that's the two major issues right here. And so it's gonna be a fight, and do I think the governor's gonna approve it? I don't think so. I may be wrong, but his appointees that are there,
They didn't like
they
it.
are very, very concerned with it, by looking at their body language and stuff. But anyway, that's enough for that. We need to move on. We gotta.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Public hearing?
I didn't make copies for the public for this public hearing. I do apologize. There's a schedule in the proposed ordinance. Commissioners, in front of you have a draft ordinance. It's on page 34 of your packet, if I'm not mistaken. It's to amend the county comprehensive plan to adopt the new 5-year schedule of capital improvements. And basically, Commissioners, it's just like the LMS. We put these schedules on there. We kind of discuss where we think funding is going to come from, in what year, when we're going to try and do it, but we get points when we move towards other funding sources with these projects. And so what Mr. Chairman, I guess basically is comments from the commissioners, comments from the public, and then we could move to adopt the ordinance.
Yes, we need public comments first.
Public comments?
Again, this is a list of projects we'd like to see done in some fashion at some time. It's not a deadline nor a requirement nor a burden on the taxpayers to get these things done.
In any way.
In any way. This is a list that we'd like to see done over time if we get the money.
But it does help us with points and other.
Have any public comments? How about commissioner comments?
So, sir, can we move forward?
Oh, absolutely.
A motion? With no
Need a
comment being
motion?
heard, do I need to read this into the minutes? Read the ordinance into the minutes?
Sure.
Okay. Whereas the Franklin County is required to annually update the 5-year schedule of capital improvements in its comprehensive plan, now therefore be it ordained by the Franklin County Board of County Commissioners that the currently adopted 5-year schedule of capital improvements is repealed and the new 5-year schedule of capital improvements, as shown in attachment Exhibit A, is adopted. Any other ordinance in conflict with this provision of this ordinance are herewith repealed. This ordinance shall take effective as provided by law. Adopted this first day of December 2015, regular meeting of the Franklin County Board of County Commissioners.
Mr. Morone, commissioners, can I come up and say something in reference to this?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry, Dolores Hayward Kroon. I have one question. Does this also include, well, for the last 16 years, I've lived at 233 12th Street. And for those 16 years, my sidewalk has been no sidewalk. Every time it rains, and it doesn't have to be a deluge, my yard is flooded out. Now, I've been hounding Mayor Johnson and the city commissioners in reference to this. And finally, he has been so gracious. Finally, he told me that it was not the city that took care of that, it was the county. And he directed whoever it is that's over that. He called the gentleman's name, I've forgotten his name. I want to say it's been about a year.
Howard Neighbors?
There you go. And he said that from his experience that he would get back with me. Well, some little rocks was brought out and put there. But I want you to know that my yard is still flooding. And in June, in the summer, I had my mother, my stepmother, and my dad to die within 6 weeks. And on one of those occasions when they were getting in the car, the funeral car and whatnot, we had to take our shoes off because it was so much water. Now I'm here to appeal to you. And this is not why I'm here. I'm here for something completely different. But since this came up, would you please have someone to come out and look at that portion of sidewalk? The sidewalk has been paved from Avenue M all the way down past the cemetery and out by Donnie Wilson's park. Then they repaired some sidewalk from Avenue L coming back toward 98. And they skipped us, that block, for whatever reason. Thank you. Would you check it?
Yes, ma'am.
I need, Mr. Schuler, would you entertain that?
Well, if I'm
Well,
hearing,
what we got here, the city keep on saying we repair 12th Street sidewalk.
I thought it was the city.
That's just, well, I hate to be indifferent to the mayor, but
Well, we did, the county did participate and build the sidewalk that extended from Avenue M all the way around with, this was about 6 or 8 years ago, not restore, what was the other?
It was a grant.
that was the Rebuild America Act.
Rebuild America thing, I forget now the acronym for that. We did that, put that new, all that in there. That was a county-funded project with federal money. The project on 12th Street, which is going on right now, is a state-funded project, and they're replacing sidewalks there. But the county's position is that you know, we all want to work together, and if we can be an assistance and a benefit and to help the city of Apalachicola, we always try and do that. But the sidewalks have never been a county responsibility. We have always looked at sidewalks as, in the city limits, as a city responsibility. And if we can help fix things, we will. But the city needs to take the lead on those sidewalks. And I don't mean to put you in the middle of this thing, Ms. Cruz, but it's a city sidewalk, and it's always been a city sidewalk.
That's what I thought.
Right, and thank you for the informational background. I could not recall exactly how that came about, but they have discussed this issue with me in the past, and it's always been my position as counsel for the county commission that those sidewalks are the responsibility legally of the city of Apalachicola because it is within their municipal boundaries. But having said that, as Mr. Pierce pointed out, we always try to work together cooperatively and be helpful, but the ultimate legal responsibility belongs to the city, not to the county.
I mean, have we paved the 12th Street? Absolutely have. And we paved it because the county is able to get grant funds to pave roads the city can't. So yes, as a project, we paved 12th Street all the way out because we could do that. But unfortunately, that was a repaving of a road and had nothing, and we couldn't get any money for the sidewalks. So we want to help the city and we want to help the residents because you all are all county residents. But
Well,
And same thing, like for East Point Water and Sewer, the county commission has fronted millions of dollars in being the grant administrator and the grant applicant for East Point Water and Sewer to put in millions of dollars of infrastructure and improvements, but that doesn't make those improvements a capital asset of the county. Those remain capital assets belonging to East Point Water and Sewer. We've had similar projects in the city of Carabel, but those projects still remain, the ownership and the responsibility belongs to those separate legal entities, not the county.
can somebody get clarification of that because of the position that we need to take on that? Because at the time that the city and the county are debating who owns the sidewalks, we got people out here that needs work done. And that's my priority. And I mean, if we can assist, like you said, Alan, if we can assist, but the city does not need to be telling people that it's the county's problem when it's just as much the city's problem as it is the county's problem or more. So we need, I mean, you
I
have
work
the
with the
same
city of
thing, you
Carabel,
know.
I work
You
with the
know.
city, the sidewalks is the city's. But if I have a problem and need some help, I can call Buster and he comes and helps me. But the sidewalks actually belongs to the city.
Well,
Belongs to the city.
what we've been doing, I like in, we helped the city cover up some ditches. And they bought the pipe and we had the equipment.
install it.
We installed it. But on this here, they want us, they putting the whole blame, you know, everybody throwing, hey, that's not gonna get it. Let's go, if they need some help doing the work, we'll help them. But pointing the blame and the blame belong to them, that's the city of Apalachicola. I mean, the city know that. You in the city limits. And that's in the city limits. They know that's that sidewalk. I don't know why they keep on talking about this.
We
that.
all need to be working together for
But we'll work with
people.
you. We'll work together with you. We'll get something done.
All right, I need a motion and a second.
So moved.
So,
All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries.
That's on adopting this capital.
Yeah,
improvement
adopting this
schedule.
That schedule that they got.
I'd like to make a motion on the issue that was just discussed.
Yes, sir.
that we direct staff to write a letter to the city of Apalachicola instructing them that we've had complaints from Mr. Dolores Crooms out here about the sidewalks in front of her house. According to Mr. Schuler, our attorney, that is the responsibility of the city. We would like to make them aware of that, and if there's any way we can assist them, fine. But, you know, the city can apply for grants and all, just like the county can. And if that's what they need to do, then, you know, if there's any way we can assist them, we will. But they need to take care of this problem for this lady out here in the audience and fix that sidewalk and that block of sidewalk.
In fact, as an example, it may not be a good example, but I'll give it anyway. The city of Carabel applied for a grant, and Cheryl, I think it came through, the one they're working now in 67. That was actually a city grant. City of Carabel applied, it was through traffic safety, is that how it came through? There's a group that the city of Apalachicola has representation on, maybe majority representation, called it's a Citizen Traffic Safety Committee.
Yeah.
And they do improvements to help things other than paved roads, and sidewalks is a good example. The city of Carabel is getting a new sidewalk. We're having to administer it for them, but the city of Carabel made the application, developed the project, got the funding for it, and then we're going to help, you know, put it in. And so the city of Apalachicola will do the same thing, and this is certainly a great idea that the city could seek those same sort of funds for.
Include that in my motion, that statement by Mr. Pierce there, that is an avenue or a place they can look for a funding source to improve the sidewalks that Mr.
Because
Crooms
while yours is a hazard for walking as well as flooding, there are lots of sidewalks in Apalachicola that need replacing also, and this would be a funding source for more than just your area.
Yeah, second on that.
All right, I have a motion second on the floor. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries.